International Business Meeting, a virtual meeting between team members from different countries discussing a quality improvement initiative. Participants include Maria, Quality Manager, Italy; Hiroshi, Technical Director, Japan; Sarah, Operations Manager, USA; and Klaus, Compliance Manager, Germany.
Good morning, everyone, or good evening to you, Hiroshi. Thank you all for joining this meeting to discuss our Global Quality Improvement Initiative. Before we start, let's quickly introduce ourselves for the record. I'm Maria Rossi, Quality Manager from our Milan office.
Good evening. I am Hiroshi Tanaka, Technical Director from Tokyo.
Good morning. Sarah Johnson, Operations Manager from the Chicago facility.
Good morning. Klaus Weber, Compliance Manager from Hamburg.
Thank you. I've sent the agenda to everyone in advance. Today, we need to discuss the implementation timeline for our new quality management system and agree on the next steps. If we can reach consensus on these points, we would consider this meeting a success. Does anyone have questions about our objectives before we begin?
The agenda looks good to me, Maria. I'm particularly interested in discussing how we'll handle the different regulatory requirements across regions.
I have reviewed the agenda. It is comprehensive. I would like to ensure we have enough time for the discussion of documentation standards.
Thank you, Sarah and Klaus. We'll definitely address both topics. Hiroshi, any comments on the agenda?
The agenda is acceptable. I would appreciate if we could also briefly discuss the training requirements for technical staff.
Certainly, Hiroshi. I'll add that to our discussion points. Let's start with an overview of where we stand. As you know, our executive team has approved the Global Quality Improvement Initiative with the goal of harmonizing our processes across all facilities. If we implemented this successfully, we would see significant benefits in consistency, efficiency, and compliance.
That's great news about the executive approval. If I could ask, what exactly is our timeline constraint? The original plan suggested a 6-month implementation, but if we had more time, we could ensure better integration with our existing systems.
Good question, Sarah. The executive team wants full implementation within 8 months, which is 2 months more than our original plan. If we needed additional time for specific elements, we would have to present a strong business case.
8 months is still ambitious. If we were to prioritize certain elements, which would come first? I suggest we focus on compliance documentation, as this carries the highest risk if not properly implemented.
That's a valid point, Klaus. I propose we create a phased implementation plan. Phase 1 would focus on core elements, including compliance documentation, and later phases would address integration with existing systems. What do you think?
I agree with a phased approach. However, I believe technical specifications should be included in Phase 1. If we delayed this component, we might face quality issues in production.
I see both perspectives. If we included both compliance documentation and technical specifications in Phase 1, would we still meet the timeline? Perhaps we could create a more detailed project plan to assess this.
That's a constructive suggestion, Sarah. If we developed a detailed project plan, we could better evaluate what's feasible in the first phase. Klaus, could you lead the development of this plan in collaboration with Hiroshi for the technical elements?
Yes, I can prepare a draft project plan. If Hiroshi provided input on the technical specifications timeline by next Friday, I could have a complete draft ready for review by the following week.
I will provide the technical input by next Friday. If I encounter any difficulties meeting this deadline, I will inform you promptly.
Excellent. Now let's discuss regional regulatory requirements. Sarah, you mentioned this as a particular concern.
Yes, our Chicago facility operates under FDA regulations, which have some specific requirements that differ from EU standards. If we created a system that only focused on ISO standards, we might miss some critical FDA elements.
This is an important point. Our Hamburg facility must comply with both EU regulations and German national requirements. If we mapped all regulatory requirements from each region, we would identify both common elements and unique requirements.
I agree with that approach. If we assigned a compliance specialist from each region to a working group, they could create this regulatory mapping. Sarah and Klaus, would you be willing to lead this effort?
Absolutely. I'd be happy to lead this with Klaus. If we had input from all regions by the end of the month, we could present a comprehensive mapping at our next meeting.
I agree to co-lead this initiative with Sarah. This is a critical foundation for our quality system.
Thank you both. Hiroshi, you mentioned training requirements for technical staff. Could you elaborate on your concerns?
In our Tokyo facility, technical staff requires specialized training on quality procedures. If we implemented a new system without adequate training, we would risk improper execution. I believe we need a global training program with local adaptations.
That's an excellent point. If we developed a core training curriculum that could be adapted to local needs, would that address your concern?
Yes, that would be acceptable. If we established minimum training requirements while allowing for regional customization, we could ensure consistency while addressing local needs.
I really like that approach. If I could add something, if we created the training materials in modules, each region could select the relevant components for their teams.
I agree with the modular approach. If we also included assessment components, we could verify training effectiveness across regions.
These are all excellent suggestions. Let me summarize what we've agreed upon so far. 1. Klaus and Hiroshi will develop a detailed project plan with phased implementation. 2. Sarah and Klaus will lead a working group to map regulatory requirements across regions. 3. We will develop a modular training program with core requirements and regional adaptations. Have I missed anything important?
That covers the main points from my perspective. If we could also agree on how often this group should meet to monitor progress, that would be helpful.
Good point, Sarah. What would be a reasonable frequency for everyone?
I suggest bi-weekly meetings would be appropriate. If we encountered significant issues, we could schedule additional calls as needed.
Bi-weekly is acceptable. If we shared progress updates via email between meetings, we would maintain momentum while respecting everyone's time.
I agree with bi-weekly meetings and email updates in between. Let's schedule these for the same time slot, if that works for everyone. Before we close, are there any other concerns or suggestions?
Just one quick question. Who will be responsible for communicating our progress to the executive team?
As the project sponsor, I will handle executive communications. If you provided me with regular updates on your respective areas, I would compile these into a monthly executive summary.
That is a good approach. Clear communication will be essential for this project's success.
Thank you all for your participation and valuable input today. If everyone agrees, I'll send out the meeting minutes with the action items we've discussed by the end of tomorrow. Our next meeting will be in 2 weeks at the same time.
Thank you for facilitating this productive discussion, Maria.
Yes, thanks everyone. Looking forward to getting started on the regulatory mapping.
Thank you. I will begin work on the project plan immediately.
Excellent. Have a good day or evening, everyone.